Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up on the show today, I'm doing Metal Queens 4, and I got my friend Michael from Sador42 here to help me out. How you going, Michael?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Steve?
Yeah, really good. Really good. So Michael actually came on my channel and did Metal Queens 3, which was sort of a fictional scenario that we created that said in 1993, record companies come to us and said, can you create a Metal Queens 3 compilation? So there is actually a Metal Queens 1 and 2 that for real that does exist. And that was, a lot of sort of 80s hard rock, early 90s, female fronted, metal hard rock acts. So they asked us to do one for 1993. So we did that, Metal Queens 3. And now 30 years later, another fictional scenario, they've said, can you come up with another compilation record? I'm going to call it Metal Queens 4. And this time it's female fronted hard rock or metal post 2000, the year 2000. So basically from 2000 onwards to now. So quite a long period of time to choose from. And we've both found it really easy to do this one. Heaps of possible choices. Of course, it's a long period of time, but also I think possibly. What do you think, Michael? There's more female fronted now than there was maybe back in the 90s, 80s.
Oh, I think 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think the 80s would have benefited better if there were more female groups. It would have just been a little bit more, I don't know, more PC, I guess, and more, less misogynistic. It's kind of interesting that, a lot of the bands, a lot of female bands, did stuff, dressed, sexy and stuff like that, which was fine. But I think lyrically, it would have been really interesting to have an 80s where it was more 50-50 split, or at least more female artists in there. And I think that having that now, it shows a lot of change in the lyrics and the respect too of so many women that are doing hard rock and heavy metal now. It's a much better environment, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you're seeing more females at concerts and things like that, heavy metal concerts, and because
absolutely
they can be part of the scene just as much as anyone else. So yeah,
exactly.
Anyway, so let's get into it. So the rules are sort of 2000 onwards, female fronted. So the whole band doesn't have to be female, but the singer is female. Sometimes it might be that it's a all female band. Sometimes it could be just the singer is female singer. And if Michael or myself say a band or an artist, then we've got some backup, so we can't say the same one. So so that did happen on Metal Queens 3. We had to I think I said one that Michael was going to choose, so he then had to go to one of his alternate ones. So so because in a compilation you wouldn't have an artist usually more than one. So that's the rule for that. All right, so Michael's going to do side A. I'm going to do side B. 7 tracks on each side. What's opening up side A for you, Michael?
All right. What's opening up side A is The Agonist. And this is Alissa White-Gluz, who this is a Canadian band, and this album came out in 2007. This is their debut. And yeah, Alissa does some really good growl vocals, death metal type vocals, but she also has really great clean singing voice. And these lyrics on this album are very politically charged. There's a lot and I think she's still doing that to this day, but especially in The Agonist, she's vegan. She's very strong with animal rights. So there's a song on here about that. There's just some very, very, very interesting politically charged lyrics on here. And she's a really great singer. She now sings currently for Arch Enemy. The disappointing thing is after she left The Agonist, The Agonist is one of my favorite bands, actually. I really, really like these guys. After she left The Agonist and went into Arch Enemy, she pretty much stopped using her clean singing voice in Arch Enemy. And that was very disappointing because her clean singing voice is great. And I think the melodicism, the melodies in these lyrics, in the chorus parts are very, very strong on all the Agonist albums, including the new singer who sings for Agonist. Very similar, great death metal vocals with clean singing. But yeah, Alissa is great. Very strong stage presence too. If you see any live videos of her on the internet, she's just really, really, really cool. And that's going to open up side one. I'm going to put the song Serendipity is the song that I'm going to put on here. It has a really, really great riff throughout the song. It has the death metal vocals and the clean, and it has a very solid breakdown in the middle, towards the middle end of the song that just really crushes. I really, really like that. So that's going to be side one, song one.
Yeah, great. Nice choice. Yeah, I like the work Alissa's doing with Arch Enemy. I'm not a big death metal fan, but I do quite like the Arch Enemy songs that I've heard. And yeah, I mean, she looks fantastic. I mean, she's got a great stage presence, great voice. Yeah, totally. She's awesome. But yeah, I'm not overly familiar with the Agonist, but I might check it out. Sounds interesting. Sounds good. Okay,
Yeah,
so good. Side two, track one for me is a little bit. I think it's probably a little bit more melodic, a little bit more commercial. This one. This is a band called Enemy Inside. This is they're a German band. This is their second album, and this is called Seven. I don't know quite why it's called Seven, but sort of quite, like I said, quite commercial, sort of modern rock, but a little bit of alternative metal. Some, yeah. Quite clean vocals. The song I'm going for is Crystallize. I think it was one of the main singles that was released. There's a music video. Really great song. I mean, I can imagine it being a hit potentially. It's got a lot, really really melodic and commercial sounding. And this is their second album. The first album is good as well. I don't have their first album. This album, I think they got a whole lot better. This is much better. There's like Crystallize is a good song, but there's lots of other really good songs on this that I like. So, I went for Crystallize. Open up my side two.
What year did that come out?
That came out quite recently. Yeah, 2021 on Records. Yeah. So
nice. All right, side one, track two is going to come from Lucifer. Johanna Sadonis, and this is Lucifer 1. They're all the way up to, well, the new album is not called Lucifer 4, but it's their fourth album. And they did Lucifer 1, 2, and 3, and then a fourth album. This is very heavy Black Sabbathy influenced metal, and it really has that sound. Okay, this came out in 2015. The guitar player in this band is Gaz Jennings, who was in Cathedral. And Johanna was in another band called The Oath with a female guitarist, and her did a band, and they kind of broke up. But she ended up, I think they were on the same record label. This is on Rise Above. So I think Gaz Jennings and Cathedral is on that same label, or has an album or two on that label. And they got together, started writing songs. And yeah, her voice is just amazing. It's soaring. I've heard her compared to the singer from Heart, Anne. Is it Anne?
Anne Wilson?
Yeah. Well, but yeah, I've heard her compared to that. And yeah, there's really, really good stuff on here. The song I'm going to put on here is I like the title of the song. It's called Purple Pyramid. And yeah, it's just really good stuff. The guitar riffs on here are really great. Very heavy Black Sabbath influenced 70s style hard rock, heavy metal, with great female vocals. And I saw these guys live too on I believe it was Lucifer 2 during that tour, and they actually came to Charlotte or North Carolina area, which I was really surprised. Really good stuff. She's from Germany too. Her that's where she's from originally. And yeah, Johanna Sadonis, Lucifer.
Great, nice one. Cool. You'd think there must have been a few other bands called Lucifer, right? As a band name. That you'd think that must have been taken, but yeah, there we go. Cool.
Yeah, it's surprising that they got it. They put 4 albums out now, so whoever was using Lucifer is not using it anymore.
Yeah. That's cool. No, totally new to me. I have to check that one out. All right. So track 2 on side 2. I'm going for a band called Jaggedy Ann. So I've only actually got it on CD because I think it's only been released on CD. But so this is all female band. AC/DC inspired sort of hard rock. which was pretty not easy to find in the 2000s. Well, maybe it was starting to make a bit of a comeback, but and not that common. I guess the Donners would be another band you'd compare them to, and they were kind of playing sort of similar type of music around this time. This has came out in 2007. What's interesting though too about this album, it's produced by Phil Rudd from AC/DC. So there's a big connection there. I think supposedly this band won some sort of World Battle of the Bands competition. And I don't know if the prize was them getting your album produced by Phil Rudd, but it was produced by Phil Rudd actually here in New Zealand. So Phil Rudd was living in New Zealand for a while. I don't know if he still is, but he got in a bit of trouble with the law too over here. But anyway, won't get into that. But he had a studio, and so he did a bit of production work, and this is not an easy album to find. Relatively actually easy to find here in New Zealand because I guess it was distributed by a New Zealand company. And the song I'm going for is Overdose. Really good song, really catchy. And if you like your sort of AC/DC and female fronted, this is worth checking out. So Overdose, track 2, side 2.
Nice. That sounds good. Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time compiling a playlist now because you're going so obscure.
Yeah. I will try and do a YouTube playlist. I've actually done one. I've set it up for my ones, but obviously haven't done yours because I didn't know what you were going to do. So hopefully we should be able to do it. YouTube seems to have everything. So
yeah. All right, the track or side 1, track 3 is going to be Baby Metal. I like my Japanese heavy metal music and even Japanese pop music. I love Japanese pop music. Japanese culture is really interesting, and the Japanese, how these bands come to be is very interesting. Like there's a real like a school of like they're all produced. Like they're kind of put together bands. Like there's not a lot of bands that kind of come out on their own and get signed to major deals. A lot of these record labels, they scout artists and stuff like that. So the guy that I'm forgetting his name, but the guy who kind of created the Baby Metal project scouted out 3 singers, dancers and singers, and Sue Metal is the main lead singer for Baby Metal, and she is an amazing singer, and she has just come such a long way. There's a brand new album this year called The One from Baby Metal, and I still don't think they write their own material, but the backing band for this group is very heavy and they're very professional, and they're all from really cool bands in this Japanese scene, very proficient musicians. This is the first release from Baby Metal that was sort of a compilation of singles and some new songs that weren't released yet on vinyl. This is a 2 vinyl set. And the song I'm going to go on this one, it's called Akatsuki, and it kind of just it's kind of a Sue Metal song only. She sings the song even live. She plays the song by herself, and it's just a fantastic song. A lot of those reaction videos, have watched her sing that song, and they're all really impressed, and like it's really cool. But yeah, Baby Metal, even though they kind of have a gimmick, that's kind of the way it is in Japan. That's just normal, so it's not unusual. It may be unusual here, but and I really think metal fans across the world have really kind of enjoy the band, because I think they feel, that it is authentic, even though it was kind of put together as a project. It really feels authentic. And the guy who put this together, he's definitely a diehard metalhead. He knows what he's doing, marketing wise and everything. And just a fantastic album. Very catchy pop tunes, just to crushing heavy metal. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, obviously I'm familiar with them. I've watched them a fair bit on YouTube and so forth, but just hasn't quite clicked with me yet, but maybe there's still time.
I've seen them live 3 times. They are fantastic.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd love to see them live, actually. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Okay. So track 3, side 2, I'm going to go with a band called We Are the Fallen. So lucky enough to have this on vinyl. Not easy to get on vinyl. I picked it up sort of back in the day when it came out. So it came out in 2010. What's interesting about this album is it's basically the band members from Evanescence that recorded the album The Fallen. It's like the 3 band members Ben Moody, Marty O'Brien, Rocky Gray on drums, and John LeCompte was 4 actually. I don't know if they actually were. They were maybe in the studio recording. Well, Ben Moody definitely was. He's an original member of Evanescence, but I don't know if the other 3 were. But they were a touring band for Evanescence on the Fallen tour. So that's why they've called themselves We Are the Fallen. So Ben Moody, he was one of the founding members along with Amy Lee of Evanescence, and then he split up, from the band, and then basically created this band. But he's got on vocals, he's got someone called Carly Smithson. I think she's been on American Idol or something like that. I don't think she won it or anything, but so she joined up with the band, and it's very similar, obviously, to Evanescence. Very similar sort of sound. Really good though. I like it. The song I'm going for, I think, was one of their singles. It's "Bury Me Alive." So I'm going to go with that one. There's a music video I think you can watch on YouTube for that one. It wasn't that successful. Record company dropped them, I think, after about a year. But I have recently heard that they're reforming and going to start touring again. Maybe we'll put out a record, but like I say, this came out in 2010, so there's been nothing really since this one. But worth checking out if you didn't know about it. So that's my track 3 on side 2, "Bury Me Alive."
Okay. All right, this is going to be my first kind of underground rare one. This is a band called Sanhedrin. And these guys just recently signed to Metal Blade. So the strength of their first 2 albums, these guys were on. This is on, I believe, No Remorse Records, I think. And based on the strength of that, and kind of having an underground popularity there, they end up getting signed to Metal Blade. The lead singer is Erica Stoltz. And this is a New York band, and these guys play pretty much straight up heavy metal, kind of in the vein of Dio or new wave British heavy metal kind of sound. And the song I'm going to go with is The Getaway, and this came out in 2019. But yeah, the brand new album just came out 2023, I think, or late 2022. But The Getaway is a great heavy metal track, kind of has a really great chorus, kind of gallopy rhythms, kind of Iron Maiden-ish, in a way. This is a really good band. It's really interesting to hear, there are a few, I think we talked about this before, where, there's kind of the American power metal scene, which I think was really influenced by new wave British heavy metal. This was kind of like a New York band doing, British new wave of British heavy metal. And it's really good. And her voice is amazing. It at points on this album, she sings, you would almost think you're listening to Jeff Tate or something, really, really good stuff. Oh. Just straight up new wave British heavy metal inspired heavy metal music from New York.
Cool. Very good. That's totally new to me. So I have to check that one out. Yeah. All right. This band's quite well known. They've had a few musical changes. They sort of started out as a sort of a metalcore kind of band, and they've sort of got more melodic, a little bit more commercial. And the band is In This Moment, so I've actually only got this on CD. I would love to have a vinyl copy of this, but it's actually not easy to get, surprisingly. Probably should have got it back when it came out on vinyl. But the song I'm going for, there's quite a few songs on here I like, but I'm going to go. There's a music video for this as well. Sick Like Me, a really good music video. They actually do fantastic music videos, like quite big budget. Fairly well-known band, but In This Moment, Sick Like Me is the one I'm going for.
Yeah, I really like that band. Blood is the album that I'd want on vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that album. And I just got Beautiful Tragedy on Record Store Day. They just released it over here. Fantastic album. I almost had that in my list because I just bought it. I was like, oh, this would be cool. But yeah, I kind of want to listen to it more, and I was like, I'll just hold off on using that one maybe for Metal Queens 5.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to kind of cheat just a little. I'm not completely cheating, but I am bringing back The Agonist.
Oh, okay.
This time, this is with the new vocalist, Vicky Sarakis is her name. She was actually discovered by these guys. She was doing cover songs on YouTube of Agonist songs. So when Alissa yeah, when Alissa got discovered, or not really discovered, but when Alissa went over to Arch Enemy to replace Angela Glassow, yeah, Vicky stepped in. They got her going. They've done 2 full-length releases and an EP with her so far. The first album with them, I think it's Eye of the Beholder or something, like Eye of something. That just got reissued on vinyl by a company in the UK, so I have that coming in as well. Actually, I think she did 3 full lengths. She did an album called Five, along with I and this one. So I think there's 3 full lengths with her and an EP. But her voice, again, very much similar to Alissa, where she has great death metal growls, really clean death metal vocals, but also really clean, really great sounding choruses, kind of like that metalcore, like, a band like Ice Nine Kills is a band that really exemplifies that, with great death metal vocals, but very clean, very melodic vocals. And the song I'm going to go for on here is As One We Survive. It has a great chorus, shows off her voice really well. And yeah, the Agonist is going to be another band, or the same band on my side, but with their new singer. And I think all the musicians are the same. I don't think they swapped out anybody else besides the singer. And there was a little bit of controversy too between them after they left. Alissa was like, I'm still want to do Agonist, but I don't think that ever worked out really. And these guys really want to move on. But I remember hearing there was a little bit of controversy between the band members, when she left, because she really was the Agonist in the early. I mean, her lyrics are very, very strong on, those first 3 releases of the first 3 Agonist albums. And they're still real strong here, but definitely different tone a little bit. But still very similar band, but really great.
Cool. Yeah, definitely will check them out. All right. So track 5 for me, I'm going to go with a band called Theatre of Tragedy. Now, you can get this on vinyl, but it's a bit pricey, and I do have it on CD, and I'm just going to leave it on CD for now. But anyway, the song I'm going for is Automatic Lover. So this is Liv Christine, I think that's how you say her name. She's the vocalist on this album. It's kind of been compared to like Ace of Base meets Rammstein or something like that. So it's quite poppy, but then also there's some heaviness, it's sort of industrial, also gothic as well. Quite a real range of genres, I suppose, to some degree. And yeah, but this I like the previous album as well. The album after this is also pretty good, but this would be my favorite one. I think I think Liv leaves the band maybe after the next album. They get a replacement vocalist in, but yeah, for me, the consistent. This is really almost from start to finish really good. I really love playing this. So, but yeah, I'm going to go with Automatic Lover as my track 5. So too.
Yeah, they're an interesting band. They've changed styles because I like their early stuff where they were gothic metal, like gothic symphonic metal. I have Velvet Fear on vinyl. I almost picked that. I pulled it out, but it came out in like 97. So I was like, shoot. That's the only one I have on vinyl. But yeah, she just put out a new solo record, I think. I think I got an email recently that says she put out something new solo. And I think she went to a band called Leaves Eyes after she left Theatre Tragedy. I saw them live. I saw them open. I forget who they opened for, but they were fantastic. They're a pretty good band too. But they're more in that gothic symphonic metal area. So that's interesting that's industrial Rammstein sounding. That's like a really big shift in sound.
No, it's good. I like that sort of sound. So it's probably, I think, Leaves Eyes I've checked out, and I've checked out the solo stuff. It's not really my thing so much, but yeah, this album definitely my kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, I'm on song 6, and I'm going with Unleash the Archers, which is another Canadian band. So my side is a lot really Canadian. I didn't realize that till just now. Brittany Hayes, or Brittany Slays as she goes by, is the lead singer for Unleash the Archers. They have a lot of albums, 4 or 5 records, and this is their latest one. I believe they're recording their new one right now. I kind of follow her on socials, and I noticed that they're recording some new stuff. This is The Abyss, which is the sequel to, I guess, story-wise or lyric-wise to Apex, which was an album that came out before this, which I don't have on vinyl, which I do want on vinyl. And this album is really great. This is just power metal to the max, really, like very fast, very melodic power metal. Iron Maiden, played at 45, basically. That was what you get from Unleash the Archers. Her vocals are just fantastic. Her range is amazing. She actually sang for one of my favorite artists, Arjun Lucassen, on the Star One project, the latest Star One album. She sings a song about the Terminator, which is, the Terminator movies, which was really, really cool. Fantastic singer. They have a song on here called Legacy that is just amazing. It's kind of like it's a little bit different from the rest of the album. Very melodic and I don't know, really emotional too. It just has really good feeling to it when you're listening to it. So The Legacy is going to be the song I'm going to put on there from Unleash the Archers. And like I said, Brittany's fantastic. Really, really great singer.
Okay, cool. Another one for me to check out. All right, so my track 6, side 2, track 6 it's another CD. Most actually these are a CD, but it's I don't think it's on vinyl. But this is from Betty Blowtorch, and Are You Man Enough? There's a few songs on here I like. It's a little bit similar to Jaggedy Ann that I had on before, similar sort of sound. This one came out I think 2001. So and sadly Bianca Butthole, is I think the bassist and vocalist, does vocals. She died in I think it was a car accident. So that pretty much put the end to the band. But really good stuff. L7, you can kind of compare them to L7 as well a little bit. She does a duet with Vanilla Ice on this called Size Queen, which I like. It's kind of funny, but the song I'm going for is it's an interesting song because there's talking about where all the big headbands from the 80s have gone, and it's a good song too. So I'm going for my track I'm going to select is Big Hair, Broken Heart. So talks about Lita Ford. Lita Ford, where are you? You're going to need to come back. This is 2001. A lot of those bands weren't around at the time. So that's the song I'm going for.
Yeah, it's cool. Like that's what we were kind of saying at the beginning. Some of these ladies that are playing music now, they were very influenced by just the very few female artists that were out there. Like, seeing themselves, in that scene. Yeah, very empowering, probably, especially the way that Lita kind of did what the boys was doing. She kind of really played with, she had the same type of similar lyrics, but she also had, just really, really strong personality. Yeah, Lita was great back in the day.
I think you probably had to have quite a strong personality, just to do it back in those days. Yeah.
Right. It was definitely more of a mountain to climb.
Yeah.
All right, my last song on my side is going to be from Taylor Momsen and the Pretty Reckless. I really like Taylor Momsen. I know, I don't know. Sometimes I just hear a lot of hate for her online, but their albums sell like crazy. You watch the shows, everybody's going nuts, singing along. I just don't know where maybe because she was an actress before and kind of got into music, but when you really go back and get into her story, she was a child actress. She was kind of like, I don't know if she was necessarily forced to act by her parents, but she definitely had that. She was acting since she was 2 years old. She really didn't have a choice, and I think eventually she learned to like it, but I think music has always been her passion, and she writes a lot of the lyrics and helps write the music on these songs. And she got together with Ben Phillips. They were kind of put together and started writing songs together for the first album, Light It Up. Really great stuff. I really liked that album right away. And I've been buying Pretty Reckless since that first album, actually. Really good stuff. This is more like 90s inspired, kind of Soundgarden-ish, but it's also just hard rock. It's just, I wouldn't even consider this heavy metal. It's just really good hard rock music done with attitude. And her stage presence is a little stiff, even still to this day. I think she's gotten better over the years. But Other than that, I have really no complaints with Taylor Momsen and the Pretty Reckless. And the song I'm going to put, it's kind of a two-parter. It's Broomsticks, leads into Witches Burn. Very feminine song, feminist song, about, how female artists kind of get persecuted a little bit more so than some of the male artists in the industry for any wrongdoings, that they might, be perceived as doing. So it's really interesting, and she's very empowered on these on her albums and lyric wise, and I think she has a powerful voice too. And yeah, all kind of four of the albums are kind of a little bit different. She did the one in the middle. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's kind of has the drawn cover, but it's really like 70s hard rock, like kind of Fleetwood Mac-ish, and then now she's kind of gone back to more hard rock sound, but really good stuff. This was on my top 10 of the year for 2021. I really like this album, and they're still touring this album because it came out kind of right at the middle of COVID. They really didn't get to tour it at the time. Really good stuff. I like Taylor Momsen. I like Pretty Reckless.
Okay, my last one, so this is track 7 on side 2, is a band called Stitched Up Heart. This is their second album, came out in 2019. Quite annoying. This basically came with nothing, no insert, just the record. So you've got like, who's in the band, there's no information at all. So yeah, but Alissa Demna, I think is her name, is the vocalist. And like I said, this is their second album. A big improvement, I think, from their first one. I quite like this one. The opening song is Lost, and that's a duet that she does with Sully Erna from Godsmack. But the song I'm choosing is a song called Warrior. Yeah, really good. Sort of quite similar to Enemy Inside, the band that I started off my side 2 with. It's sort of modern rock, a bit of alternative metal kind of sound, quite commercial times, but yeah, sounds good. I like it. And yeah, so that came out in 2019. I'm not sure. They're still going, but they haven't put out anything since then. I don't think anyway. But yeah, so that's going to end side 2. So there we go. So that's Metal Queens 4 done and dusted. Yeah. And we had no matchup, so we didn't have to go to any alternates. So that was good. And I think
I think both of us are picking bands that neither of us are incredibly familiar with.
Yeah, exactly. So
maybe Pretty Reckless, I think, was one of the only ones.
Yeah. No, exactly. So it's kind of an album off two sides to some degree.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good because you get to discover different music that maybe you weren't familiar with. I'm certainly going to be interested in checking out some of the bands you talked about. I mean, there's so much music out there. It's hard to just check everything out, isn't it? But
it really is.
Yeah. All right. Well, hope you have enjoyed watching this. We've talked about maybe there being a Metal Queens 5, so it's quite likely that will happen at some point. I know there's lots of people that do like the female-fronted, acts in hard rock and metal, and there's lots out there now to choose from, which is fantastic. All right. Well, that's it for today's show. Catch you later. Don't forget, leave a message. Tell us about some of your post-2000 female-fronted hard rock metal acts that you like, or give us your opinions on the ones that we've shown. All right, we'll catch you later. See ya.
Bye.